Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Let's talk about adding the shins onto our kneecaps here. A couple things to prepare them for attachment, okay? Now just remember, the legs are going to be as follows. The brown little stir stick straws. So the left one facing outward to the left is the left leg. The straw facing outward to the right is the right leg. So it should look like this. And there is a reason to that. That's where the stand supports are going to go. Works a lot better that way, but anyway, that's how we want to make sure. Left leg and right leg, everybody. I'll go ahead and take the left leg. And this is the front shin, and this is the back calf. If it'll help, the actual seam folds are facing the camera. And also the straw bone is facing front part of the shin as well. We're going to bring our handy parchment paper back into the seams. We want to add some glue right here on the back part of the calf part. Try not to put glue right into the straw bones. Take our parchment paper and shove it right down inside, pushing closer to the back like this. And we're going to pinch this closed just like this. See what I'm doing with my two fingers, my index and thumb? We're going to pinch that closed and push down on it, forcing it to the back. And with our thumb, we're going to push this down a little bit. So we're pushing back here, pinching closed, and pushing down with our thumb. Almost like 3 steps here. We're going to let that dry, just like this. Pinching really tightly, and we're pushing down inward to the back. We cause this to close the gap a little bit on this back side, just like that. You want to do the same thing with this one here. Pinch this closed, push this back down, and push down like that. And this glue is going to help keep them kind of spread inward. If it's a little bit more wear and tear on the back, that's okay. It's hardly going to be seen. But our main focus is to just kind of make sure that we pinch this off closed. Again, we don't want it to spread out. And so we can go ahead and just dry fit this on here. And that looks good, yeah. Now that we're good and ready, we can just go ahead and attach this. I'm just going to make sure I got the left leg to the left and the right to the right. Okay, I got left, and this goes to the left. Let's bring this back onto the scene, and what we're going to go ahead and do, prime the pump. Again, priming it means you just make sure that you have a full trigger pump of glue coming out of it. Go ahead and put some glue right onto the eye loop right here. That's all we're doing here. And right in here, right inside the straw bone, we're going to go once and just a little bit more, and that's all we're doing. Now we're going to go ahead and just force it on down into there. Swashbuckle it around to make sure that it gets good adhesion. And we're going to really crank this knee up into there. We're going to make sure that this back is touching this back. We're going to just let it dry that way. So we kind of want this kneecap looking like an eyeball, if you will. We don't want any big gap on the bottom or any big gap on the top. We want both these sides right here kind of almost touching each other while it dries. Your hands are probably going to get tired, but that's what we want. I'm going to just hold this for about maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half. That was enough time for me to be able to release the pressure on my hands, so it looks pretty good back here. Looks really good in the front. I just want to make sure it looks pretty decent in the front here. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay? I'm going to shove this in there, swashbuckle it around, and really push in on this. And we're going to make sure that everything's lining up to the bottom here as well. Give it about a minute. Okay, that's good. Alright, let's go ahead and add the shoes or the feet. Okay, right here. Just make sure you put the left and the right one on, the correct ones. You don't want to put them opposite because I've done that before. This is the left, this is the right. Okay, this is the left, this is the right because of course the crotch is facing the camera, and of course this is the left leg and this is the right leg, even though like on camera it looks weird. Anyway, just make sure you got the correct feet facing each other and on the right sides. So all we need to do, make sure that we look for where the straw bone is, the opening, and of course you can see the two little straws right here. That's where the stand supports are going to go. Just make sure we prime the pump, alright? Making sure we get a full pump out of there. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right on the eye loop and the grip tip here. And all I'm going to do is just put 2 full trigger pumps of glue in here. 1, 2. That's it. And I'm going to go ahead and just, you guessed it, just making sure that I miss those two little stir stick holes. And I'm just going to go push that on in there and swashbuckle it around, making sure that the glue gets on in there. And I'm going to go ahead and push on this foot all the way to where it stops. See how we made this little loose part of the jeans down here? Push it until it stops, right? You can't push it anymore. You're going to get about maybe 3/4 of an inch from the pant leg to the bottom of the shoes. All we're doing is just pushing on it and letting that dry for about a minute, minute and a half. Just like we did with the knee joints here before we pay attention to the other shoe here. Look at all these cobwebs right there. And I'm going to probably fast forward this. Okay, so that was about a minute. That was a little over a minute right there. That right there. And I can go ahead and let that dry even more so. I'm going to go ahead and just pay attention to this one. I mean, it's real simple. Rinse and repeat. I've primed the gun on camera, put it right on the grip tip and the eye loop right here. Just priming this. Again, 2 full trigger pumps of glue. And all we got to do is just slam-a-jamma this right up in there and swashbuckle it around. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everything's nice and even at the very end. And while I'm pushing into both shoes, making sure that the legs are nice and even with each other while they're drying. See what I'm doing? I'm pushing into both legs to make sure that they're both nice and even. The knees are even, the shins are even, and everything's nice and even Steven. Letting that dry for about a minute and a half. I'm looking at the clock on my computer. Okay, so that was about a minute and a half. I'm gonna let this dry off camera. I like the way that that feels, okay? Once the glue is dried, we want to go ahead and break up the inside welling along the inner core of the kneecaps. The joints are nice and solid inside. You can't really see it in the straw bones, but there is well out that kind of popped out around the lower parts or the upper parts of the kneecap. We want to break that up a little bit so that we can actually start getting this guy ready for action, right? And that's feeling pretty good. I like these joints, and we can kind of move on. Yeah, we'll come back, and that looks good. Let's go ahead and let that dry out off camera.